people in the world. Those who light up the room when they enter, and those who light up the room when they leave. Because here's what I've learned. My problems, your problems, are irrelevant. They don't matter. What matters is how we react. What matters is what we do about it. That's where we have control. That's where we have choice. We are responsible for our greatest suffering. The biggest obstacles we have in our lives are the ones we impose on ourselves. We get in our own way. And we don't have to. I mean, we're pretty good. I mean, in fact, I've got some feedback for you. I know something about every one of you. And you may not believe what I'm about to say. That's okay. I'm still right. Every one of you are absolutely powerful. You are strong. You already have everything you need to be incredibly successful. Like a hot air balloon, by nature, you can float. You can soar to great heights. But most of us don't, because we sandbag ourselves. We do things, we think things, we believe things that hold us down. Fear, insecurity, worrying about what people think, judgment, jealousy, negativity. We play the if-only game. If only I had more money. If only I didn't look this way. If only I went to a better school. If only I had a better job. If only I was more like other people or had what other people had. If only my circumstances were different, then I could be happy. If only is a loser's mentality. Because if only implies that you have no responsibility for how your life is. Of course things happen to us. Sometimes big things are difficult to control. But we can't control our reaction, and 99% of the time, it's our reaction that defines our destiny. So if you're not happy with the way your life is unfolding, it's not because of your circumstances. It's because of your choices. When I was young, I was absolutely terrified of long-distance running. I could not run long distances. And it was not because of anything physically wrong. I had a mental problem. I had a belief that I couldn't do it. Well, about 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to confront this fear. I was invited to participate in a charity program for the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society. They invited me to participate in a program where I would raise money for cancer research, and in exchange, they would train me to run the Los Angeles Marathon. Changing my belief about myself, believing I could do it, made a difference. I ran the entire 26.2 miles. There were 23,000 runners. I came in 8,411. I appreciate the applause, but you don't understand. I'm not bragging. Quite the opposite. I want you guys to know 6 months from today, any one of you could finish a marathon. Yeah, I know some of you are going, Yes, you can. People, all shapes, all sizes, all levels of experience. Disabled people. I saw 100 men and women in wheelchairs push themselves all 26 miles. I saw one guy in a wheelchair with no arms. He had someone else push his chair for him so he could experience the race. I mean, imagine, for 26 miles, he was like, go, 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 go. I'm not kidding. I saw one guy with only one leg, and he wore a roller skate. And for 26.2 miles, he just pushed himself along on crutches. And he beat me. You can't imagine what that did to my self-esteem. I found out after the race, this was his 15th marathon. See, if you're still sitting here thinking, oh, I couldn't do that, well, then you know what? He's not the one with a disability. I was on my way to do a school assembly in San Antonio. Plane takes off, it gets about 1,000 feet. Suddenly I notice all the overhead reading lights are sending down visible light beams. You could actually see them shooting down. Now, at first, I was impressed. I was like, oh, cool. In fact, I remember thinking, yeah, that's how the lights look at a club whenever they turn on the smoke machine. The plane was filling with smoke. We're told to remove our shoes and get in crash position, covering our heads. So if the plane explodes into a billion pieces, your head won't get hit by a pretzel. We make a U-turn. Plane heads back. We have a very hard landing, but the landing gear holds. We come to a stop in the middle of tarmac. Within seconds, we are surrounded. Fire trucks, police cars everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare for an emergency evacuation. And by this point, a few people already had an emergency evacuation. Okay, so they open up the front door of the plane and they deploy the evacuation slide. That's why they had us remove our shoes, so no one's heel would puncture the slide. So I get to the top of the slide, and I look down, and there are 6 firemen below giving me instructions on how to go down a slide. I was 1,000 feet in the air in a 737 with a bad engine. It was remarkable. Because up until this point, all the passengers were in identical circumstances, like all of you. Here at the same convention. The funny thing was, everyone reacted differently to their circumstances. They made different choices. Some people were yelling and screaming. They wanted immediate compensation. One guy was on his cell phone with his attorney. Some people were crying hysterically, swearing they would never fly again. Now, it is my belief that while we can't choose our circumstances, we can choose our reaction. And so I'll always ask myself, what is the reaction that best serves me? What will bring out my power? 9 times out of 10, I find when I can find the humor, it puts my problems in perspective. It makes them easier to manage. It gives me strength. So when I was there on that flight, I said, all right, I'm going to make the best of this. I'm going to joke around. So I started making jokes, stupid jokes, anything. At one point, I was like, hey, I thought this was a non-smoking flight. I mean, anything. You know what? Within 2 hours, they got us our shoes, our stuff, a new plane. We were on our way. All the problem was, when you boil it down, was just a 2-hour delay. We all got to San Antonio, but we were there in completely different moods based on the way we reacted. So I got to wonder, what mood are you in at the end of the day? What mood will you be in at the end of this conference? No one knows but you. And it has nothing to do with the conference. It's your choice. I want you guys to know your circumstances don't matter. What matters is how you react. Continue serving people. It will give you strength. Cut loose your sandbags. Make good choices. And I promise, you too will be genuinely happy. This has been awesome. Thank you very much.